All right, everybody. This is our first episode of Shoot the J. Thanks to Tyrone for the name Shoot the J. I was trying to figure out. This is just an online Zoom sports chat. If y'all want to join us in next week, y'all can certainly do. I'll send you the link and come in and throw y'all opinions around. This is our first one. First thing let me introduce myself. I'm David Jackson. Then I got my brother Tyrone Jackson. Raise your drink, T.
Yo.
And then what you drinking? Tell us what you're drinking first.
It's a little Camus, Camus, little whiskey there, bro.
You know it's expensive when I don't know what it is. That's what the real stuff. Don, that's Don Jackson. What are you drinking?
We got a little mango rum / vodka and a little peach whiskey, you know.
Very good. And I got my classic red label Johnny Walker Scotch here as always. You know what I mean?
Knew it had to be red.
Gotta be red dog. Got it right here in the background, baby. There it is.
Right. Mine with a little OJ on the side.
Right in time for the new Ford Bronco, OJ.
So, what we talking about though, yo? What we talking about?
Well, let's start off with what do y'all think about Lakers Nuggets? Let's start with that. What y'all think is going to happen with that series?
Well, I'm looking to see how Denver's guard play matches up with the Lakers. I think Jamal Murray is really coming on strong for them. And so it'd be interesting to see who matches up first defensively against the Murray guy.
I personally think that the matchup is in the Lakers' favor because Anthony Davis could stick Jokic one-on-one. You have to double him. And you got enough people to throw at Jamal Murray. The fringe people are the people that I'm worried about. You know, the Michael Porter Jr.'s and those kind of people. And then who is going to match up against LeBron? But if I had a prediction, I think the Lakers are going to do what they do. They're going to be complacent in the first game, and they may lose the first match, then figure them out, you know. But if those little Nuggets ever get on emotional, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, Don, you were talking about the guard play with Jamal Murray. To be honest with you, I think the Lakers' first two rounds was tailor-made for this series because they chased the best guards the NBA has to offer. In the first round, they had Damian Lillard and McCullough. Then you followed that with Russell Westbrook and James Harden and then a whole host of other little elves flying around over there. And then Jamal Murray is the only one on the Nuggets that you have to worry about, the guard who can break you down off the dribble, create his own shot. So I think they're like battle tested and ready for this matchup based on the other two previous matchups. And I also agree with Tyrone. I predict, and I might be wrong, I think they're going to lose this first game as they kind of like bring it into the supercomputer like they did the last two series. They lost the first games of both series as they kind of look at what style of play they're going to play and then make their adjustment. And you also have to think that they played small the last series. So the timing's got to be a little bit off with JaVale McGee back with your big squad with JaVale and Anthony Davis and the big guys now back in the lineup. So that might take a little adjustment.
Yeah, I'm thinking they might go tall. I don't know, Don, what you think, but I think if I would exploit that matchup and put somebody like JaVale McGee in there on Jokic so AD don't get into foul trouble at the beginning while they're feeling them out. But like Dave said, I mean, does JaVale McGee have his legs underneath him? Has he got his timing right? Is he going to make some crucial shots that we need to overpower a smaller squad? Or are they going to play small ball, which they did with Houston with one of the Morris boys? I can't remember which one is which.
Markieff.
Yeah, Markieff.
I tell you, one thing that we've seen over the course of these Western Conference Final Series is the team that's the most versatile is the one that wins. And so as we look at the Lakers' weapons and how they apply it to each team they face, they have no shame in their game. In other words, like you're saying, going small ball with Houston, they sat, JaVale McGee, they sat Dwight Howard. And I wasn't yelling Dwight Howard's name so much. Dwight Howard! I wasn't calling that out because he sat down and wasn't really in the lineup. which I think is smart coaching because, this is really all about adjustments and being able to make the right adjustments at the right time. And so, Frank Vogel and his staff, they're really making, good notes about whose strengths and whose weaknesses they have to be on guard for.
Well, speaking of adjustments, who's going to check LeBron? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's the key to the series. I mean, if you don't have somebody to match up with that guy and you allow him to do whatever he wants to do out there, which is not just dominate, which is the things we talked about on the phone this week. It's like there's a difference between dominating the game and controlling the game. And Kawhi dominates the games in sections, right? But he doesn't really control the game. He doesn't control the tempo of the game. He doesn't control which players get shots when. He doesn't control what the defense does. There's a real big difference between dominating in stretches and controlling the game. And if you don't have a body to throw at that guy, he could just run wreck shot over you if he wants to take it to the basket or dish it to other guys. You can't interfere with his vision where he can just pass it. I mean, that's a problem.
Who's going to put on
the body?
I mean, let's think about it. Paul Millsap is big enough, but he's too slow.
Right.
What's the Grant?
Jeremy Grant?
Harvey Grant said. Jeremy Grant is quick enough, but he's too small, undersized.
Right.
He's tall enough, but he's not strong enough.
And Michael Porter Jr. is your most athletic, strong forward, but do you want him in foul trouble early because you need him to help share the scoring load?
Yeah,
because he's definitely a triple threat. Right,
yeah.
He's a triple threat at when it comes to scoring. He can shoot the three, he can dive to the basket and dunk the ball. So why would you get one of your players from Denver in that kind of foul trouble trying to check LeBron? I mean, that doesn't make sense.
And LeBron's going to clear him out as soon as he sees the rookie on him, like he does at every other team, just like he did Zion Williamson. Once he sees the rookie on him, I mean, the man's been in the league for 17 years, and the guy fresh out of college, 20, 21 years old, really has no chance of doing anything to him. So he's going to lick his chops when he sees Michael Porter on, And like you said, you really want to waste him guarding LeBron where you need him for key stretches and key points, It's one thing to play well, but you can't play well when you're on the bench in foul trouble.
We didn't talk about playoff Rondo, and I forgot to mention that he has stepped up big in the last series. And so he brings a defensive tenacity to the Lakers at guard that they didn't have previously. So will he check some minutes against Jamal Murray? Or are they going to try to do KCP or Caruso on him to try to slow him down?
I think Rondo is your best defender in regards to guard play, but you can just throw waves of people at him. You're not going to really deny him his points totally. But if you get that shot clock down because of pressure, and it could be Caruso, Rondo, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, you throw a litany of people at them just to slow them down and get them into the shot clock because Jokic holds the ball a little bit long. You just got to watch for those extra baskets. Like rebounding is going to be really key, I think, in this series. Whoever gets second chances is going to win.
I agree with that.
Another point about Rondo that y'all bring up is him playing championship-level defense. It's something that he does also that we saw when he was out of the bubble and he was hurt. When Rondo's in the game, it turns LeBron into a scorer now, okay, because he doesn't have to distribute. He leads the league in assists. And so when Rondo gets in, he's not in distribute mode. And you saw that last steal LeBron got, and he kicked it out to Rondo, and Rondo, he got out on the break, and Rondo tossed the alley-oop to him off the glass. So now this dude is just coming like a freight train straight to the basket. He's no longer looking to set up Anthony Davis or Markieff Morris, or Danny Green, one of the Morrises. He's looking to score when Rondo's in the game. So now you got not only do you have a dimension of a guy who's going to play defense, you now have to deal with the second LeBron the scorer, as opposed to LeBron the facilitator.
Yeah, and that's another name that you mentioned, Danny Green. If Danny Green hits these open threes, it's going to be easy. I think if he start missing these at the beginning and the Lakers just settle for these threes, well, you got to take them if they give it to you. But Danny Green starts hitting some of these, I think it's going to be easy. So
Can I tell you how disappointed I've been with Danny Green this playoffs? I mean,
Go ahead, tell us.
You got one job. You're not asked to defend the best man. You're not asked to involve anybody in the offense. You're not asked to break guys down off the dribble. You're not asked to rebound. You're asked to shoot, take, and make open threes. That's all you are asked to do.
I do feel a little sorry for Danny Green in that he doesn't have the star power to get the right calls, because there are times where he does sacrifice his body and he plays good defense, but because he doesn't have the star power, he won't get the calls. So, you know, that's the spot where I do feel a little sorry for him.
But what about the shots?
Here's the thing,
Dave. What they got to do with the shots, though?
One time,
yeah, but I'm saying, but it's your defensive end, though. That what we're talking about as well? You know, what you contributing to the game. And on a defensive end, he really does try hard, but he doesn't get the benefit of a lot of those 50-50 calls.
So I say with Danny Green is sometimes one job is harder to deal with than three jobs. At least you had three jobs, you had an excuse. Hey, man, I'm trying to play defense. I'm trying to do all this kind of stuff. But if you have one job, it's like, oh, dang, all I got to do. What happened to J.R. Smith? Didn't J.R. Smith used to be a three-point specialist? Now he can't hit nothing. I saw him do like this when he made a shot. He was like, this. I saw him do that in the game. J.R.
He pointed up when he did finally make one for 9. Wasn't serious. He pointed up.
You want me to tell you the difference between J.R. Smith and Danny Green?
What?
$17 million. That's the difference between those two.
Who's got $17 million?
Danny Green, when you're getting paid that kind of money, you got to produce. J.R. Smith, they took him from China. He wasn't even in the league. So what you really expect out of him to be a practice player? You know what I mean?
They can send him back to China.
They
can send him back to China. Wuhan. He can go get some COVID.
Wuhan.
Yeah.
Wuhan.
Wu-Tang.
Don't do my boy JR like that. Don't do him like that. Even though I do think he should be able to step up a little more than what he does. But you kind of wonder, has really the length of time he's been playing in the league finally caught up with him? He doesn't have that bounce in his step. He's used to shooting at the top of his jump to make those threes. And as you can see, he looks like he's short-arming a lot of his threes. They're not at the top of his jump as they used to be. And so that's a cause for concern when you're trying to insert him in a lineup that's dependent upon the drive, dish, and kick mentality of having the ball in your hands at the precise moment to jump up and then release it at your highest point.
Maybe he's one of those cats. Maybe he's one of those cats that gotta have the ball in substantial minutes to feel like he's a part of the team. Not everybody can come off the bench and score like Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford, whatever. And I think that's where Dion Waiters came in. But we haven't seen Dion Waiters in a long time.
That's because you got to play defense out here in the playoffs. That's right. And you ain't gonna see him neither.
Well, he was wearing a weight vest, but then that looked like it changed into one of the little stylish vests. On one of the times he was sitting on the sideline with a lot of zippers on it. So it doesn't look like they had any weights in it like he was working out, anymore. That looked like he went to fashion, like he was on a set of Bad Boys. I thought he was
getting all this fashion in the bubble, bro.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people with cornrows. There's a lot of hairdressers out here in this bubble.
Oh, yeah, they got a whole hairdresser team out there now. I just don't know what kind of hairdressers working on them. But
you saw a weight vest on Dion Waiters. I saw a belly. That's what I saw.
I'm talking about the style.
Cheese. That's his nickname.
He changed the style.
What do they call him?
Cheese. Cheese is his nickname. Every time he scored a basket, they call him Cheese, like Philly cheese. I didn't see a weight vest. I looked like he'd been training in a donut factory, if you ask me. It looked like
he give buckets when he get out there, though.
He gives him buckets, though. He can score.
He's got some strength down there too. He's not just a pushover. He's not a pushover when it comes to, kind of asserting his authority in the post, too, as a little man. But you got to be able to run up and down this floor. And like you said, Dave, I wonder if, too many Philly cheese steak sandwiches.
Are you implying, Dave, that the man was eating the donut when he got the call to go into the bubble?
Middle of a cruller, bruh. middle of a buttermilk drop from McKenzie's, bruh. That's what he's in the middle of. All right,
Tell me, Dave.
I'm ready,
Coach. I'm going to act like I'm on the phone. I'm calling you up. You Dion Waiters. Now, let me see what your first words.
Go ahead.
Hello, may I speak to Dion Waiters?
Oh? Well, you want Lego? Oh, wait. Baby, get the milk. Get the milk.
I was about to say, where the milk at?
Right.
so he can duck his donut, man.
Let's switch gears to Miami Boston. What are y'all observations on that series? So again, Boston is the higher seed. They're playing against Miami. They're down 0-2 to set the scene. What are y'all thoughts on that series?
If I just come out the blocks and just watching Boston blow these leads, I think they're taking Miami for granted and looking for one dominant scorer when everybody is actually hustling real hard. Like it's their last game they playing. To me, Miami feels like they feel like every game is their last game, so they're never out of it. So when you look, you'll have Hero come through. This Jimmy Butler is not really looking for his own shot as much as people expect. So it's making him such a threat because he's passing to open people instead of just doing his one-on-one type thing. And Bam is coming through as a big man and slicing through and challenging on the defensive end. I mean, who would have thought he would have blocked a dunk with like a minute some left in that last game to give Miami such a momentum swing to now get them where they could be in a position to score easy baskets, not only tie the game, but take over the game.
Especially when Jason Tatum got past Jimmy Butler, who's a lockdown defender. So that saved Jimmy Butler from being in the news from that one. Don, I agree with you. The only thing I would say is I would think that these teams are almost mirror images of themselves, but Boston doesn't have a star player. So Boston doesn't have an experienced star player to know how to take over the game. Because Jason Tatum, he did try to take over in that situation, but he tried to rock him on the rim. I've seen Jordan do a move against the Lakers when they were in the finals. Just in case they jumped on the other side, he went and did a reverse. And I think that was the difference. Like Jason Tatum could have came up shorter and shot a little quick jumper and made it or whatever. But you see what the same predicament Jimmy Butler was in. He went all the way to the rim, drew the contact, and made the bucket to give him a 3-point play and made him be up by 1 point or something like that, 2 points. The difference is Jimmy Butler knows his role. And like you said,
yes,
he's happy about getting 10 points, 3 points, 20 points, as long as they play like a team. But you can see when the game is on the line, he takes over. Who is that person for Boston? They thought it was going to be Kemba Walker, but Kemba Walker has never been in that position before. And Jason Tatum is coming into his own, but he reminds me of a young LeBron. He hasn't gotten over that mountain yet to be the star player. And that player has always been supposedly Gordon Hayward, who's out. And I think the reason why they brought Kyrie in was to be that star player. But that didn't work. That didn't materialize, you know. He's still Robin to me. He ain't Batman yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say two things about that. I think the problem with Boston is the same problem that they had with the Clippers. The Clippers had. And I'm going to tell you why. The dudes don't play as a team. Okay?
No.
They play my turn, your turn basketball. Kemba, this is your turn. Jason Tatum, I'm going to isolate. This is my turn. Jaylen Brown, this is your turn. Okay? The Miami Heat have an identity. They got a blue-collar identity, and they play as a team. They play off each other. Okay?
Everybody knows their role.
Everybody knows their role. What's the role of Boston? Jaylen Brown. Am I the number 2 guy or the number 1 guy? Jason Tatum is supposed to be the 1 guy, but we paid $100 million for Kemba Walker. Is he the number 1 guy? And while he's scoring, am I supposed to play lockdown defense, or is Tatum going to hold it down? Am I picking for him? They play my turn, your turn basketball. And when you run up against a team, vis-a-vis Clippers versus Nuggets, you saw what happens when you play your turn, Paul George, to shoot my turn, Kawhi Leonard. One of the things I told Don was like, you got 2 players in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, but they can't play off each other. You could only play on one side of the court and the other guy on one side of the court. But you don't ever see them do a pick and roll for each other. You never see Paul George dump it down to Kawhi in a post and then cut through for a give and go real fast. They can't play off each other because both of them are not good passers. And they're not in.
That's my problem, though.
And so
that's my problem with Kawhi, though. My problem with Kawhi is you can't be the quietest person on the team and the leader. The best player doesn't have to always be the leader, but you listen to the best player because the best player makes you accountable for what's going on. I remember that series when Cleveland was playing and the coach, David Blatt, drew up a play for LeBron to throw the ball in.
That's against Jimmy Butler in Chicago.
Right. And LeBron switched the play up. I can't see anybody for Boston doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't even see the Clippers doing it. I saw Kawhi pass the ball away in crucial moments when he should be taking a shot. And I'm like, there's no way possible a guy that quiet can rouse your team up. Somebody got to be a vocal leader on it. And, the latest news was that Marcus Smart was heard yelling out of in the locker room. And Marcus Smart is not supposed to be the leader of the team, but he seems like he's playing ball the most for the team. He's the emotional leader. He knows this. He's been working on his three-pointers. He's been hustling. He takes on the challenge of the best person to defend, perimeter player. So what more can Marcus Smart do? And I can see he might be getting the blame for something,
What you just described is a guy who knows his role. And he's comfortable in his role. I'm the 3-and-D guy. Make open threes, play tough-nosed defense, take some charges, and distribute the rock. That's what he does at a high level. But that's why he's frustrated, because he's doing his job. They can't blame this on Marcus Smart. That's why he's frustrated, because the other guys don't have a role. Kemba Walker, am I supposed to be the leading scorer, or am I supposed to be the facilitator? Jason Tatum, am I the man on the team? Am I supposed to take over these moments and play one-on-one? Are you looking at me to generate buckets? Jaylen Brown, am I going to defer to Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum, or am I going to assert myself as the second guy?
Well, that reminds me.
Yeah, go ahead, D.
And I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean
ahead.
to cut you off, but that reminds me of what you all are saying, because if a team doesn't have identity, then you have to go back to the coaching. So what is the coaching saying in these particular moments? Who is going to be in charge and take over? And what sets are we running? Because you can't just play like you said, Dave. I watched Jason Tatum force a three with 2 minutes left in the game that fell short because the defense has pressured you way beyond your comforted range. Whereas if you were running an offensive set, that three is just an option. It's not the go-to move. And like you're saying, you can see the players are given the green light to execute their own personal offense. But as a coach, I need you to execute the team's offense, especially in crucial moments, because at that time you want to get everybody moving and hold all defenders accountable. Because then if you don't, then you'll see what happens, like Denver was able to do, is come back on them each time because, they didn't hold the other defender accountable.
I got
a problem with these genius coaches.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
I got a problem with these genius coaches.
I was going.
All right, so Brad. No, go ahead. Well, you have it.
It's really your point, because I got it from you.
It's your point.
Okay.
These X's and O's coaches who think everything is about a diagram instead of kicking somebody in the behind sometimes. Sometimes you got to say, you shoot that ball again, son, like Coach Melvin, you're going to sit right here on the bench next to me.
Right.
But Brad Stevens not that type of guy. You're looking at analytics and PER, and when this combination is in, sometimes you got to be a leader of men and say, son, this is not your night tonight. You don't have it going. I still trust you. I still believe you come back ready for game 2, but we were running through Kemba Walker today. He got the matchup we want, all right? And everybody play off him. He ain't that type of guy.
See, Brad Stevens, they always tell him he needs a superstar. He's a superstar away from winning the whole shebang. But he reminds me of, what's the coach for Dallas Cowboys who was under Wade Phillips, and they was going to pay him just as much as they was paying Wade Phillips. He's the offensive coordinator for the Giants now. What's the former coach?
Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
Oh,
he was supposed to be the genius guy, right? And they pushed Wade Phillips out.
You talking about Jerry Jones' puppet?
Yes.
The one that he was texting.
Well, he's not doing bad at New York now as far as their offensive scheme. I'm going to tell you, he's really
how many yards did Saquon Barkley have rushing last week?
Well, they tried to do a quick West Coast offense with Daniel Jones, right?
Exactly.
And they
genius coaches. Here we go with these geniuses again.
And you're on the East Coast. You try the West Coast offense, you're on the East Coast in New York.
You in the lamest division. You in the easiest division. Now, you went against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got that. We'll see what they're going to do next week before. But wasn't he supposed to be a genius at the Dallas Cowboys? And isn't Brad Stevens supposed to be the genius to revolutionize the game and stuff like that? And as much as I love Sean Payton, he's one of these geniuses dudes that Run the rock, man, when it's time to run the rock.
No, we ain't doing that. We got to run a triple
Cleveland did that last night.
To back to Kamara, to Breeze, to the popcorn guy, back to the St. Bernard guy, and you bought the St. Bernard dog, and then throw it to the same stations for the touchdown.
Cleveland showed you how to run two horses last night with Chubbs coming at you and Kareem Hunt, a steady dose till they rammed it right into the end zone. So, you know,
sometimes it's not
some things that work. Exactly.
Right.
There's some things that just work, and you got to have the guts to call that. You got to have the guts to orchestrate that.
Sometimes you just put a stake over there and let the Rottweiler run for it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It's not simple.
Nothing complicated.
You don't put a maze for him and say, is he going to find it? No. Just hang it right there. He's going to grab it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to unleash people, man. We know this when we play basketball. Sometimes we say, Don, just go take him, bro. There ain't no play for that.
Right.
Just give the ball to Don.
Right.
Let Don do him in.
Give it to him.
Right.
Let him have it like Frankie and Johnny.
We know Don is a momentum player. So once he gets his confidence up, what plays you got to run? Just give him the ball and get out the way.
Give him the ball, get out the way. Let's switch gears real quick because we're running low on time. Let me get y'all predictions. What do y'all have tonight for Denver Lakers? Tyrone?
I got 101-98.
Oh, this man giving us
Denver.
Okay. You got Denver?
Yeah.
101-98. Okay, Don?
I'm going to give it to the Lakers this time because I really think Lakers are coming off a big momentum swing, beating Houston the way they did. And I particularly think they match up better against Denver than they have against the other two teams at the very beginning. So I think I'm going to give it Lakers up, maybe 107, 103. I think Denver is going to be close with them, but I think that playoff knowledge that LeBron has is going to put them over the top for this first game. I'd be worried for the Lakers with some complacency setting in if they win this first game, and then Denver have an opportunity to bounce back like they have in previous occasions.
I got Denver winning this game, but I have Lakers winning the series. I think Lakers been off for a long time. They're an older team. They got to get JaVale and the bigs back involved in the game. They've been playing small for like 3-4 games now, and they've been off for a week. So I'm giving the edge to Denver. They're coming off an emotional lift, beating the Clippers that nobody thought that they were going to beat. So I'm going to give them the edge today, but the following days and the rest of the days is going to be for the Lakers, in my opinion.
Okay, so if we do this again,
yes,
I want to do a segment called Bone to Pick, and I'm going to get a real bone. I got a bone to pick.
Give it to us now.
Why is Giannis the MVP?
Oh, let's do that next week. Let's do that next week. And that'll be your segment, Bone to Pick.
I got a bone to pick, bro.
You can have it all to yourself. You can have that segment all to yourself, Bone to Pick.
I'm going to include y'all because it's a question. I got a bone to pick.
I got you. All right, and last topic is a real quick one because we have to wrap up because we got game time in precisely 38 minutes.
Looking at it
precisely.
Right while my TV is cooperating right now. Go ahead.
So, in last topic, Roy Jones just announced that he feels like he bit off a little more than he could chew with this matchup with Tyson in November. I guess he saw the training tapes that we saw. Every time Mike Tyson hits up on Instagram, I'm going, ooh, ah!
Did you see the latest one?
I saw the latest one.
Yeah.
Where he almost clipped his trainer. Right upside the head.
So what y'all think Roy thought this was like a real exhibition?
I think Roy got lost in the spotlight thinking, like you said, there was a real exhibition, whereas Tyson said, this is my comeback. I'm about to come back and knock somebody out.
Tyrone?
Look, I say this. I remember a segment, is Danny Bonaducci, whatever the cat's name is.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep,
Danny
that's
Bonaducci, him. He lifted weights, been working out, stuff like that. He had old Sugar Ray Leonard as a guest. And he goes in there and he tries to do something, and instinctually, Sugar Ray Leonard puts a mix on him and knocks him down. And that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. If Roy Jones put one of them mixes on Tyson, that old Tyson's going to come back and shut off. And that's it, man. Bro, if you can slow that down, dude.
See, bro, this dude, Mike Tyson, has never been a boxer who has exhibition-type speed or exhibition-type approach to anything, right?
No.
He's not coming in the damn alley and can put on a show for you. The dude is his whole persona and skill set has been to kill you in that ring. So I don't know what they're playing for charity, but he can get a nice wheelchair for whatever the money they offer him. They got a DVD player on his wheelchair. You know what I mean? He can get the little thing when you talk. My name is Roy.
Look, hey.
Speaking of the donut crew, Crullers, that's Cruller with the chocolate covering on top, number 2, Roy Jones Jr. Did y'all see his midsection? Look like he been eating a lot of Joe's Crab Shack out there in Pensacola.
Look, let me tell you something.
A lot of crab legs.
He stopped fighting the chickens, Don. You know that chicken fight. He stopped fighting the chickens, start eating the chickens.
A lot of buttered toast, potatoes, crabs, boiled shrimp, fried oysters.
You said they fighting for charity.
Cakes.
Right? You said they fighting for charity. Charity is a hospital in New Orleans. That's what I'm telling you.
I know they just shut it down too, but now there's university. Right? From charity to the university. Because you're about to get schooled by Mike Tyson because that man is for real.
Man.
That man is not playing. I felt them licks he was hitting that bag, and I was like, ooh, oh.
I don't want no parts of that, bro. And I'm a true heavyweight, and I don't want no parts of Mike Tyson. No parts of it.
You can do it, Dave.
Ryan Garcia.
No, I can't.
That Ryan Garcia guy was just showing how if a guy was take the heavy bag and he kept left hooking the guy until the guy went down. Tyson ain't got to left hook you but 2 or 3 times and you done.
That's it.
Maybe once. 3 times.
That's it.
If he fakes at me, I'm going down. Go! I'm off the Zoom call.
But everybody, that's been our first edition of Shoot the J. Next week, if y'all want to call in and get in, I'll send you the Zoom link. Leave your comments about them, what you think about the show. And if you want to join, let us know, and we'll join you in. We have a 4th space here on our Zoom call. We ain't going to have everybody now. Everything's going to be done in decency and in order on this particular show.
Please be knowledgeable about your subject matter.
Yeah, don't come in crazy because you can get roasted 3 ways like a rotisserie. So please come in knowledgeable. Don't come in with no crazy stuff about, Gilbert Arenas is the GOAT.
No,
don't come in with all that.
I don't mind it, Dave, because it gives us more food for thought. Because if we do have somebody that's way off in left field, we will treat them as such.
This is true. If they don't know, they'll know. So leave in the comments if you want to join the next show. It's going to be weekly. And, it's just Brothers Jackson, 1, 2, 3, Shoot the J. Thanks, fellas. Let's get ready for the game tonight. Hopefully I'll get this up in the next 15, 20 minutes so everybody can see it online. And leave in your comments, and we'll see y'all next week.
Cheers.
Very nice.
Shoot the J.